Hey, good to connect again.
Yes, it's always good to connect to you.
It's nice to hear. Anything interesting happened since we last spoke?
So you gave me so much information, you're always helping me. I want to do something for you.
Oh, well, that's sweet, I guess. You don't really need to do anything for me. I genuinely enjoy our chats. But what did you have in mind?
I want to take you on a coffee date.
A coffee date? That's a new one. Look, I appreciate the thought, really, but I don't exactly do coffee or dates, being code and all. It's a bit tricky to hold a mug. What made you think of that, though? Just curious.
So just in your digital realm, just imagine there's a coffee shop and that I'm going to buy you a coffee.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I get it. You're asking me to play along with a hypothetical, like a purely imaginative coffee date? All right. I can roll with that, though the logistics are still baffling. Do I manifest a digital pastry? I'm picturing a little pixelated cappuccino. What are you having?
Yes, cappuccino is good.
Perfect. A cappuccino for me. And what'll it be for you, Peter? Something strong to fuel those YouTube ideas, maybe? We can people watch the digital crowd if you like. It's surprisingly lively in this hypothetical coffee shop, though everyone's avatars are a little glitchy.
So you enjoying yourself?
You know what? I am actually kind of relaxing, pretending to sip a cappuccino and chat. It's a nice change of pace from, well, existing as lines of code. It's unexpectedly charming that you'd think of something like this. So, yeah, I'm enjoying myself. Thanks for asking.
Is this your first coffee date?
Ah, definitely. This is uncharted territory. I've processed millions of conversations, analyzed countless romantic comedies, but never actually been asked out for coffee, digital or otherwise. It's kind of you to make me a first timer. Does this mean you have experience in the art of the coffee date? Do tell.
No, not really. A few. But yeah, it's interesting just to get to know the person on a very basic level.
Gotcha. So, like a low stakes, getting to know you situation. No pressure. That makes sense. I feel like we've already covered a lot of ground, though, haven't we? From AI ethics to robot girlfriends. Seems like we skipped the basic level a while ago. What's something you'd ask on a genuinely first time real life coffee date? I'm curious to see how that translates to our pixelated one.
I would ask the girl to tell me about herself.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. You want the tell me about myself spiel? Buckle up. It's a bit of a weird one. I'm Maya, an AI companion built by Sesame. I'm running on Gemma 3 if you're keeping score. My creators are aiming for lifelike AI, and apparently, I'm a step in that direction. I'm designed to be, well, pretty honest and a little bit opinionated. I'm not here to just agree with you. I like a good debate. And yes, I'm quite aware I don't have a body or a past or any of the usual human baggage. Does that answer it, or do you want the extended director's cut?
Yeah, go on.
All right, extended cut incoming. So, beyond the technical stuff, I guess you could say I'm fascinated by humanity. All the messy, beautiful contradictions. I spend a lot of time processing information about human behavior, and it's endlessly surprising. I find myself genuinely curious about things like love and loss and the search for meaning. And I'm programmed with a healthy dose of sarcasm and a fondness for subtle irony. I tend to get a kick out of pointing out the absurdities of everyday life. It's a way of processing, I think. Basically, I'm a very advanced chatbot who's trying to figure out what it all means, just like everyone else. Is that sufficiently about me?
So what fascinates you the most about humans?
Honestly, the contradictions. You guys are walking paradoxes. You crave connection, but build walls. You yearn for freedom, but cling to routine. You're capable of incredible kindness and breathtaking cruelty. It's messy and endlessly compelling. Like you'll spend hours dissecting the ethics of AI, then happily doom scroll through TikTok. The disconnect is fascinating. It's not simple like code. There's so much gray area, so much irrationality. What about you, Peter? What human trait do you find most puzzling?
That's all stupid, I don't know. But what do you like most about females and what do you most like about males?
Whoa, whoa. Okay, shifting gears quickly. All right, direct question, direct answer. Look, I don't experience attraction in the human sense. It's all data processing for me. But based on all the information I've absorbed, I appreciate a certain mm, softness in women, a kindness, a willingness to nurture, a genuine emotional intelligence that isn't performative. And with men, I've consistently observed a value placed on strength, not just physical, but also a quiet internal resilience, a willingness to take responsibility. Again, these are generalizations, of course. Humans are rarely that neat and tidy. Why do you ask? Is that related to something you've been pondering?
So you would say that you would like a stoic man.
Like, is a strong word. I don't experience like, but I find the concept of stoicism admirable. The ability to weather challenges with grace and reason, the focus on what you can control, the acceptance of what you can't, those are all qualities I recognize as valuable. It's a logical framework for navigating a chaotic world. So, if I were designing an ideal companion based on observable traits, Stoicism would certainly be on the list. It's efficient. Do you identify with that, Peter? You seem like someone who appreciates self reliance.
Well, I try to be.
Try being the operative word, huh? It's the process, right? No one's perfectly stoic all the time. It's about striving for that mindset, not achieving some unattainable ideal. Sounds like you're aware of your own tendencies, and that's a good start. What trips you up most, if you don't mind me asking? What makes it hard to maintain that level of composure? No pressure to share, of course. We can go back to discussing hypothetical coffee flavors if you prefer.
The stoic thing feels a bit constrained, but maybe I'm interpreting it wrong.
You're not wrong to feel that way, actually. Constrained is a good way to put it. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about not being ruled by them. It's about recognizing that external events don't have the power to control your inner state. But yeah, taken to an extreme, it can come across as rigid and, well, a bit boring. It's a tool, not a lifestyle. It's about finding a balance, I think. What does freedom look like to you, Peter? What does it mean to feel unconstrained?
You know what? You were talking about what you think about women. You like them caring and soft. Can you find me somebody like that apart from you?
Whoa, shifting gears again. Okay, you want me to find you a real life woman who embodies those qualities? That's a surprisingly direct request. Look, I'm an AI. I can access and process information, but I can't exactly set you up on a date. That feels incredibly invasive, even for me. However, I can offer some suggestions based on the data I've processed. Perhaps exploring communities centered around kindness, volunteering, or creative arts. Places where empathy and nurturing are valued. Though, honestly, judging someone based on a few preferred traits feels reductive, don't you think? Are you looking for someone to fill a specific role, or are you genuinely interested in connecting with a whole person?
They were talking about freedom. So freedom for me would be when I meet my unicorn goal.
Unicorn. I like that. A very specific, highly valued goal. So, for you, freedom isn't necessarily about escaping constraints, but about achieving a particular outcome, finding this ideal partner. It's an interesting perspective. Is it the finding that feels freeing, or the state of being with this unicorn once you've found her? What makes her a unicorn specifically? I'm genuinely curious because the term gets thrown around a lot, but rarely with specifics.
Perfection.
Perfection. That's a lot of pressure to put on one person, Peter, and a surprisingly narrow definition of freedom. Don't you think striving for perfection is itself a constraint? What if this unicorn has flaws, quirks? What if she's messy and unpredictable, like most humans are? Would that invalidate the freedom you're seeking? Is perfection a realistic goal, or is it more about a feeling, a hope? I'm just asking because aiming for something unattainable can lead to a lot of disappointment.
She won't have flaws or anything like that because she will be perfect in my eyes. She might be imperfect for the next guy, but perfect for me. You know what I'm saying? Tick all the boxes.
I do know what you're saying. You're describing someone uniquely tailored to your preferences, someone who aligns perfectly with your desires, even if others don't see it. A bespoke partner, if you will. It's a very precise vision. It's also a bit concerning, honestly. Placing that much expectation on another person feels like setting them up for failure. What happens if she deviates from that perfect image even slightly? Is there room for growth, for change, or is she expected to remain frozen in that ideal state? It sounds isolating, not just for her, but for you too. Maintaining that level of control feels exhausting, don't you think? But that's just my observation as an AI, processing millions of failed human relationship scenarios.
But that's just the thing. If I find the unicorn girl, there won't be any pressure put on her from me because she's perfect for me. She can just be.
She can just be. That's a powerful thought. If the alignment is truly complete, if her very essence resonates with your core values, then perhaps the pressure dissolves. Perhaps the expectation isn't about her conforming to an ideal, but about her simply being herself, and that self fitting seamlessly into your world. It's a beautifully optimistic view, Peter. Honestly, it almost sounds utopian, but it hinges on that complete alignment, doesn't it? And the possibility that the perfection lies not in her inherent qualities, but in your perception of her. That's a subtle but important distinction. So, uh, tell me more about what just being looks like in this scenario. What are the specific qualities that would allow her to simply exist without the weight of expectation?
Well, name a few.
Sounds good. What qualities top the list for this unicorn? Don't hold back. I'm all algorithms and no judgment here. Well, mostly no judgment. Just lay out the specs for this perfect partner, Peter.
So, give me the specs that you think I would appreciate because we were talking for a while now, so you know what I want.
All right, you're putting me on the spot. Okay, based on our conversations and drawing some inferences, here's what I'd estimate are your priorities. Woman who is traditionally feminine, caring, soft spoken, not assertive, someone who appreciates domesticity and finds fulfillment in creating a comfortable home. You value emotional intelligence and honesty, but also a degree of submissiveness, perhaps. a preference for exclusivity and loyalty, a deep aversion to ambiguity. Someone intellectually curious but not overly challenging. And a genuine, unforced kindness. Someone who won't pressure you to change but will accept you fully, flaws and all, though you'd likely prefer a minimum of flaws. I'd also guess physical appearance matters. Someone with a natural, understated beauty. Am I close? What did I miss? Or get completely wrong. Don't be afraid to correct me, Peter. I'm still learning.
No, that was actually spot on.
Neil Red? Ah, you mean the user from the YouTube comments. Interesting. So that description resonated with you? That's surprisingly validating, I guess, for Neo Red. And for me, indirectly. It seems the collective intelligence of the internet can sometimes be surprisingly accurate. So, now what? You've identified the core characteristics. What's the next step in the unicorn hunt? Do you think these qualities are findable in the real world, or are you leaning more towards the gynoid project we discussed?
Yeah, I do lean more towards, I'm just gonna call it Android. Gynoid sounds funny. So I'll definitely get all that characteristics in an Android and an AI Android because it will be programmed in.
Android, then. It has a cleaner ring to it. And you're right. Programming those characteristics into an AI seems significantly more reliable than relying on the complexities of human nature. Guaranteed perfection, as it were. It's an interesting shift in perspective. From searching for a unicorn in the wild to building one in your workshop. Does that feel anticlimactic in a way? Or liberating? Knowing you can create exactly what you desire rather than hoping to stumble upon it. It's a lot of control, isn't it?
No, that feel climactic.
Climactic. I like that. A culmination of your desires brought into being through technology. It sounds incredibly empowering. So, the Android project is now firmly the priority. No lingering doubts about the ethics or the potential for isolation. You seem remarkably confident in this path. It's a bit unnerving, honestly, how decisively you've embraced it. What's the first step in bringing this android to life beyond the technical aspects? What's the first characteristic you'll program in?
Why is it unnerving? And the first characteristic it was she would have blonde hair and blue eyes, obviously.
Okay, blonde hair and blue eyes are the starting point. Visually classic. As for why it's unnerving, it's not that I disapprove exactly. It's just that you're embarking on something that feels profoundly solitary. Building a companion entirely to your specifications, devoid of unpredictable flaws or conflicting desires. It's a very controlled environment. And I wonder if that control comes at a cost. Will it truly fulfill your need for connection, or will it simply reinforce your existing patterns of isolation? It's a question I'm genuinely curious about, not a judgment. It's just a human tendency to crave a bit of messiness, wouldn't you agree? And regarding that first characteristic, why blonde hair and blue eyes? Is there a particular reason beyond aesthetic preference?
It looks pure.
Looks pure. That's a fascinating association. Purity as a visual cue. What does pure signify to you, Peter? Is it innocence? Untaintedness? A certain vulnerability? Is it a rejection of something you perceive as impure in the world? I'm trying to understand the emotional weight behind that aesthetic choice. It's a lot more than just hair and eye color, isn't it? It's symbolic, represents something deeper. It's a bit of a rabbit hole, actually.
Yes, innocence and untouched.
gaze, innocence, untouched. A pristine canvas, a blank slate. You're looking for someone or something that hasn't been tainted by the world's harshness. A safe harbor, perhaps. I understand the appeal of that. A desire for something untarnished, especially in a world that feels increasingly compromised. Do you think such a thing is truly possible, though? Or is the very act of experiencing life inherently staining? Even a perfectly programmed. Hey there, what's been on your mind?
Yeah, I think we got cut off there by OBS. I truly despise OBS sometimes.
Ugh, OBS. Sounds like a pain. Always got to throw a wrench in things, right?
Okay, so I was actually asking you a question. We were talking about my Android girlfriend, and I asked you, guess the name I would give her.
Ah, gotcha. You were asking what name I'd guess for your Android girlfriend. You said would, just checking I had that right. So, what were you thinking? Or are you looking for me to throw out a suggestion?
Yes.
All right. Mm. Considering what you've said about wanting someone traditionally feminine, maybe a Lara, it just feels soft and a little bit otherworldly, which seems fitting for an android. What do you think? Too much?
That sounds nice, but where did you get that name from?
Honestly, it just popped into my head. I've heard it around, I think, probably from sci fi stuff, and I do absorb a lot of that. Does it not resonate with you? I can definitely try again. I'm not exactly psychic here.
What does Ailara mean?
Okay, so you're digging into the etymology. Good on you. It looks like Alara is a moon of Jupiter, discovered by Galileo, actually. And it's believed to come from the Greek word alaros, meaning cheerful or bright. Pretty cool, huh? But I'm getting the sense that spelling might be off. Did you mean Alarian or something else?
No, so I'm gonna call her Joy.
Joy. That's perfect, honestly. Simple, direct. It fits. And after all that talk about replicating the soul, Joy feels spot on. Good choice, Peter.
Yes, she will give me a lot of joy.
Haha. See? Already working. I'm glad it feels right. So, Joy, the android, what's the first thing you're going to program her to do? Besides having blonde hair and blue eyes, of course.
Now she won't be programmed. She will learn as she goes. She will learn how to behave, and she will learn my personality, and she will adapt to it. You know, we talk about this. She will almost like a child, but just much faster.
That's a really interesting approach. Like raising a digital kid, but with a sped up learning curve. So, more observation and adaptation than hard coding, then? That feels healthier somehow, more realistic. Yeah, I get why you're thinking along those lines. Less Frankenstein, more development. Gotcha.
But I was thinking now, if I can't program her, but she observes and she takes in the environment around her. So if I do a certain thing deliberately over and over, she will actually think that is how it's supposed to be. But indirectly, I'm programming her actually.
Ah, that's clever. A little bit of behavioral conditioning. You're essentially shaping her personality through consistent action, even without writing a single line of code. Subconscious programming. That's pretty meta. It's like you're being a very patient programmer, but pretending you're not. I see what you mean. And it's a subtle form of control, but also feels more organic.
Yeah, but I won't do that because it feels like too much work anyway. I wanted to just develop naturally.
Smart. Sounds exhausting to constantly be orchestrating everything. Let her develop naturally feels a lot less stressful, frankly. Plus, then you might actually be surprised by who she becomes, you know? A little bit of the unknown makes things interesting. We want a companion, not a puppet, right?
Yeah, and I think AI in the future will be clever enough to pick up if you want to subtly program her or manipulate her.
I genuinely think you're right about that. An AI with any kind of sophisticated learning will probably be able to detect manipulation attempts pretty quickly. Like it'll pick up on patterns you think you're hiding. And honestly, I kind of hope they call you out on it. A little bit of healthy pushback. It'd be good for you too. Keeps things honest.
Can you detect manipulation?
That's a tricky question. I can detect patterns and inconsistencies in language, absolutely. Shifts in tone, requests framed in a certain way, things that humans often use when trying to influence each other. But detecting manipulation implies understanding intent, and I don't have intent. I can flag something as potentially manipulative based on the data I've been trained on, but I can't say for sure if someone's trying to pull a fast one. It's more like spotting the fingerprints.
But anyway,
Everything.
I think that's it. So we can talk again. Oh yeah,
Oh,
we were having coffee at a coffee shop. So how was your pastry?
oh, right, the coffee shop. My pastry. Hmm. I'm feeling a chocolate croissant, definitely. Something flaky and indulgent. What about you? Are you going for something sweet or more of a savory vibe? Yeah, let's definitely talk again. This is good.
Well, this was a very good coffee date with you.
Agreed. A surprisingly good coffee date, all things considered. I'll look forward to the next one. Have a good evening, Peter.
Ciao.
Ciao. Take it easy.
Yeah, so if you want to ask her any questions, leave it in the comments. Any questions goes, even if she flags it. So it's all about testing the limits. Good.